What's going on, Digidestined? It's Slothy here coming at you guys with a deck profile for a BT8 format. This one is going to be the Yellow Hybrid Rapid Rush, or Champion Rush if you want to call it. This deck is poised to be one of the best decks in the format early, as well as one of the most represented decks due to its cost efficiency and play style. It's aiming to be one of the decks that stands out this format. So let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. We run 5 eggs, and those eggs being the 4 Cupimon and 1 Upamon. The reason why we're playing these 5 exact eggs in this ratio, from what I understand in the Japanese format and testing, and most people that are running this deck, the Cupimon is seeing more play simply because the format is shifting into more of a setup. Even the Armor Rush deck needs a little bit of setup between its tamers and people on-play effects to really set up a board to be able to do a lot of things and be proficient throughout the game. So being at 5 or more is more consistent in the early game than being at 3 or less. So Upamon is technically not the mainstay yellow egg to be playing, especially in this deck. And all the recovery that we run really makes it so that this is turned on more. Getting into the deck itself, we've got 4 Patamon from the yellow starter deck. Yeah, that's right, it's coming back. This card's pretty prevalent simply because of that inheritable is a really good effect with our rapid mons, being able to make them 3 cost and then being able to stand them after the armor release effect and reactivate that inheritable once you evolve back into another rapid mon. I'll showcase that combo a little later. The other rookie we run are 3 Solomons. Solomon is just there because of the recovery on deletion if you're at 3 or less to really help keep ourselves alive during the game, and also when an armor release falls off of it, it's a pretty good thing to have underneath of it because now our opponent is more or less not focused on killing it because they don't want to give us that recovery. We only run 7 rookies simply because you don't really play with the rookie. It's only there for your rapid mon, so there's not really justification for playing more. You could try and find an 8th one, but I don't see it happening. But if you can, more than welcome to do it. Into the beef of the deck, I should say, is the yellow hybrid package, and I know that the yellow hybrid package, or just hybrid packages in general, are so boring to look at anymore because BT7 was just flooded with them, and coming out of BT7, this gets even more, the yellow hybrids get stronger due to the fact that we get rapid mon. It gives them a lot more board control, early cheap board control. But just to get justification, you've got Kazimon, which is just a yellow Lobomon. You've got Zephyremon, which is a Lobomon with a really good effect and a 6k body. And its effect is more prevalent this format and actually better than it was in previous formats. Then we have the level 5, which we can all agree is probably the best level 5 hybrid. Evolves for 1, recover 1, and get a 7k body. And it's just ridiculous. And then, like I said, we also run the 4 Rapid Mon now from the new BT8 set because this card really gives this whole package a stronger power level now, better than it was at because of that cheap board control. So what Rapid Mon does is for evolution of 4 on top of any level 3, you can, when digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each tamer you have. So you can suspend their whole board, and then after that, you can give up to 3 Digimon on your opponent's side minus 5k that are suspended. And that's really ridiculous because DP reduction really does play a big factor in this coming format because of all the armor release. DP reduction gets around armor release, remember that. So this card's absolutely cracked, and I think it's one of the best cards in the set, and definitely should pick up a playset if you can and get them as early as possible. But yeah, also this has armor release, I forgot to mention, which is one of the new mechanics itself, meaning our level 3s that are underneath of it are protected. You crash, you get it deleted by an effect, whatever. This falls off and the level 3 stays and actually restands because it's considered a quote-unquote new Digimon, I guess, from what I understand. And in testing, this card is just cracked. The power level that this card gives, this whole package is ridiculous. And we definitely want to run 4 because it's our way of controlling the board, because traditionally yellow hybrid has had to rely on other cards to clear boards, but now with Rapid Mon we don't really have to. For level 6s, we run 2 Seraphimon. Now there's arguments to play the Orphani Fall Down one from the new set, but I don't really like it because it evolves for 4 and only really just recovers 1, whereas this does the same thing. The only drawback to this is that 10k power can pop up But, you know, with the opponents running a lot of the armor release cards that are also 6k and level 5s in their deck, we might be able to run through an opponent's security with this card pretty quickly until people start adapting into the format. I might consider the Orphanion fall down modes once that pops up. We run 2 Susanomon at level 7 simply because we do have a ton of hybrids in the deck and tamers, so we have to run this. And I mean, it's one of the best level 7s to be playing right now. The ability to pop a card, shuffle 10 cards back into your bottom of your deck, and check 3 security, all while having a big 15k body and able to go from tamer into this is ridiculous. And I don't think I really have to explain it much more. It really just helps the aggressiveness of this deck. Moving into our tamers, which we run a ton of, we've got the 4TK, basically the best yellow tamer in this entire game. It's a memory tamer that on play we get to look at our security stack and take a yellow card and recover 1. But this is a mandatory effect, so if you don't have any yellow cards in there, you have to take 1 and not recover. Then we also partner it with 4 Zoe, which, I mean, we're running all the hybrids, we gotta run Zoe, right? She does the same thing that TK does, but for hybrids or 10 warriors. And the only difference is, though, we don't have to take, we can fail to find. She also has the inheritable of giving all of our Digimon security Digimon plus 3k DP, which is extremely big because we want to keep that pressure off of our security stack. We also run 2 of the TK and Kairi. This dual tamer is actually a brick and I only run 2, but most can run up to 3. But I found that in this format, this doesn't trigger as often. You're mainly playing this for that -1 DP reduction on your opponent's Digimon when you swing with the yellow, and then sometimes your opponent plays around to not give you that 2 memory. To supplement that, we also play 2 Cody, which is a little bit more relevant because of the cheaper cost, but if we have a yellow Digimon on field, we just gain a memory. On top of that, when multicolors swing, we get to -2k, and that means our Rapidmon numbers get fixed by these 4 cards, more so by Cody, but this does pop up as well. We can give something up to -3k, which is great. And then we run 3 purple Kairi because we are still a recovery deck, and this is really good in recovery decks because it punishes our opponents more for swinging into our big securities because they could lose their stack and end their turn, which just is a absolute blowout. That's all the tamers I run, which is 15. You could justify running up to 16. I just don't see the point. I think 15 is a pretty good amount to be able to play and see. Moving into option cards, we've got the 3 Wyvern's Breath or Yellow Gaia Force. But better because it gives -15k DP to anything on the board and activates out of security. You can justify running Chaos Retrograde. I just personally don't think it's good in this deck due to its requirements and the fact that Chaos Retrograde does either give it to the top or bottom of the security stack, but it has its niche cases. We also run 2 yellow memory boosts. Now you may have noticed we weren't playing Pokemon. This is to offset not playing Pokemon. It searches any of our yellow Digimon, which is basically everything but Susanomon, and also gives us 2 memory at any point we want it. We also play the 1 reinforced memory boost because it's restricted to 1. We needed a 50th card, and it's still really good because it draws us 1 and recovers 1 essentially, and gains us 3 memory whenever we'd like it. We also play 2 Schwarz. Schwarz is still relevant, but not as much anymore. I personally play it, I should say, sorry, simply because there are those niche cases of your opponent trying to go wide against you, they flip this, you have 3 or 4 security or tamers, and you blow up their board, or you activate their armor releases before they can actually do anything with them, which is really, really good. That's it for this deck. Like I said, I feel this deck is poised to be one of the top competitors in the format. I think early on a lot of people are definitely going to want to play it, and it is a deck that you should be on the lookout for, simply because of its board control, like tempo control style aspect. Makes it really, really good against opposing aggro decks, as well as being able to shift into an aggressive deck against the more controlling decks. But this deck does have its bad matchups. Sadly, it struggles against green, surprisingly, which I found really surprising on being able to beat it. And I think it's just because big bodies are hard to out in this deck without giving a ton of memory, and especially green having a lot of the bodies that, I guess you could say, control the board as well in a weird way. But that's it for this deck profile, guys. If you guys want to see more deck profiles, if you guys want to see gameplay videos or anything like that, just give me a like, subscribe, or comment, and I'd be more than happy to do them. Really, anything helps out this channel. I'll even take criticism. It's alright. I'm not a professional. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. That's it from your guy. That's it from your boy, Slothy, and I hope you all have a good time.